What I find far more troubling is the rank double standard.
There is a double standard.
The Trump indictment, there's a complete and utter double standard.
Well, we should impeach Merrick Garland. He's clearly abusing the power of his position. We ought to impeach Director Wray as well.
Republican politicians and the right-wing media are claiming that there's a double standard in the Justice Department prosecuting former U.S. President Donald Trump for his handling of classified documents and not the current U.S. President Joe Biden. Is there anything to these claims? Let's take a look. The facts and the timeline of the case are well known. As early as May 2021, the National Archives became aware of missing presidential documents. In February of 2022, the House Oversight Committee opened an investigation into former President Donald Trump's handling of boxes of presidential documents. In April of 2022, the FBI interviewed Trump's aides at his private Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida about the handling of presidential records. At the request of the National Archives, the Department of Justice opened a criminal investigation when Trump did not comply. In May, the Department of Justice issued a grand jury subpoena to Trump's legal team for sensitive national security documents at Mar-a-Lago. Once again, Trump did not comply. Investigators from the Department of Justice and the FBI met with Trump's attorneys at Mar-a-Lago on June 3rd, seeking more information about the improper removal of classified material. The FBI served Trump's attorneys with the grand jury subpoena and removed the subpoena documents. The investigators were tipped to the possibility of more classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. In August, federal agents established probable cause to obtain a search warrant against Trump because while he had turned in some classified documents to the federal authorities, agents suspected that he unlawfully was holding other classified information. On August 8th, the FBI served a warrant to search Mar-a-Lago. Boxes and boxes were found all over the property, including on a stage in a ballroom where events and gatherings took place, in various storage and backroom areas. Here are some next to a copier machine. Many boxes were found with papers spilling out. Did the box fall down on its own, or did somebody rummage through them? And boxes were even found in a bathroom. The FBI seized boxes of documents, some labeled secret, some labeled top secret, and some were at an even higher classification level known as TSSCI. On June 8, 2023, Trump was indicted on charges related to the documents in the federal district court in Miami. In November 2022, Biden's attorneys found a set of classified documents in a locked closet at his former office in Washington, D.C. They immediately reported the documents to the National Archives, who retrieved them the next day. Despite what the Republicans would lead you to believe, that very same month, the Attorney General Merrick Garland assigned a U.S. attorney to conduct a special investigation. In January 2023, Biden's attorneys discovered a second set of documents at Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware. Once again, they were immediately reported and returned the documents. Also in January 2023, an attorney for former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence reported a small number of classified documents that had been found at Pence's home in Carmel, Indiana. Like Biden, Pence cooperated with the FBI and the documents were quickly returned. While it is true that both President Joe Biden and former Vice President Mike Pence have recently found classified documents in their homes, neither have been charged with a crime. The key difference here is that Donald Trump made a concerted effort to hang on to this material. He also allegedly showed classified documents, including a military plan to invade a foreign country and a classified map of another country to a member of his fundraising political action committee. When Trump realized the government wanted the documents back, he lied and claimed that he didn't have them, and then he took efforts to hide the documents so they wouldn't be found when they were looking for them. In the case of President Biden and with Mike Pence, they were unaware they had the records until they were found. Once found, they contacted the National Archives and the FBI and immediately returned them. The difference is between night and day. So, what are the laws that are involved in Donald Trump's indictment? Donald Trump is being charged with 31 counts of willful retention of national defense information as part of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 793. Enacted as part of the Espionage Act, it says that the unauthorized retention or disclosure of information related to national defense that could be used to harm the United States or aid a foreign adversary is a crime. So just answer me this. Why does a former president need top-level military secrets? Why was Trump showing his friends top-level military secrets, none of whom had clearance? Furthermore, in the past, a Chinese woman was arrested at Mar-a-Lago and had been found guilty on counts of lying to federal officers and illegally entering a restricted area in 2019. That shows that there has been past efforts to use Mar-a-Lago as a security breach. When the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago in 2022, none of the classified documents were properly secured and could easily been leaked. Trump has made claims that he declassified the documents, therefore cannot be prosecuted for espionage. While, yes, a sitting president can declassify a document, there is a procedure to do so. There are official steps to notify the department in charge of that document, whether it's the NSA, the CIA, the Department of Defense, and notify them that the document has been declassified. Those steps were not taken, and during the investigation, the found documents were still officially listed as either secret, top secret, and PSSCI. A former president cannot declassify a document. Trump even contradicted these claims, and he was quoted in the indictment as saying, "As president, I could have declassified it," and then saying, "Now I can't, but this is still a secret." Regardless, even if they were declassified, which they weren't, it would still be against the Presidential Records Act. The Presidential Records Act establishes that presidential records belong to the United States and must be surrendered to the archivist of the United States at the end of a president's term or second term if served consecutive. In fact, Trump even moved to modify the law to have the crime pushed from a misdemeanor to a felony, promised during his lock her up chant in the political rallies, and he later signed the FISA Amendments Reauthorization Act of 2017 into law. Trump is being charged with 4 counts of conspiracy to obstruct justice, withholding a document or record, corruptly concealing a document or record, and concealing a document in a federal investigation as part of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, Section 1512. Trump is also being charged with 3 counts of scheme to conceal and false statements and representations as part of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1001. While not in the indictment, Trump could be accused of violating Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1519 that criminalized the act of destroying or concealing documents or records. It has been well known that during his time in office, Trump had a habit of ripping up documents after he was done with them. This caused presidential aides scrambling to quite literally pick up the pieces and tape them back together. There have also been reports of him trying to flush documents down the toilet. Can you name any other president that has done this? The 49-page indictment outlines some pretty damning evidence against Trump. It shows that Trump knew that he had classified documents. He knew it was against the law. He purposely kept them from the National Archives and the FBI. He even moved them around Mar-a-Lago in an attempt to keep them hidden. Trump has made repeated false statements and purposely obstructed a federal investigation. Furthermore, he allegedly showed people who did not have clearance top secret material. None of these things can be said about Biden or Pence. Republicans claim that it is a double standard, that the Department of Justice is going after Trump and not Biden. First, there's still an open investigation of Joe Biden. Second, if it was a double standard that Joe Biden was not indicted just because he was a Democrat, then how come Mike Pence hasn't been indicted because he's a Republican? Third, the case against Trump is different than the case against Biden or even Pence. Biden and Pence cooperated with the National Archives and the FBI. Trump did not. Trump showed top secret documents to people who did not have clearance. Biden and Pence did not. Trump lied and obstructed an investigation. Biden and Pence did not. The argument of being a double standard makes zero sense. Trump has a pattern of behavior that can be traced long before he was even a presidential candidate in 2015. Trump being prosecuted for committing a crime is not politically motivated. Trump has been a defendant in criminal and civil lawsuits over 60 times, both past and present. Charges that include defamation, property law, financial matters, breach of contract, assault claims, and many more. This is not a witch hunt. The fact that the Republican Party chose a well-known criminal is the fault of the Republican Party and the Republican voters. It is not the fault of the Democratic Party or the Department of Justice that Trump knowingly broke the law.